every week. Catch it freshest on your TV. Field level football, Quan, Pat, and CT. On the field running plays for the 3P. And we shine lights, camera action when you see the team. Pick 6, touchdown when I got the ball. And if you think you in my league, tell them knock it off. Money calling every day and I just got the call. Reduction over projection, it's in us, we just got a ball. We just got a ball. We just got a ball. We just got a ball.
Field level football. It's the Field Level Football Podcast of the West Coast. I am back. We are back. This is fresh off of the draft. Hello. I'm Pat. That's Quan. That's CT. Quan. CT, how my guys doing today?
Feeling good, feeling blessed, and highly favored. What's good, Greg? Shout out to you. I feel good. CT, how about you, bro?
You on mute. You on mute, CT.
I'm solid, bro. Shout out to Rory, man. I know you're pulling it in on the East Coast, man. So we'll try and make this a solid show for you, brother. I'm cool, man. For the draft, we'll get into it in a minute. But, as long as my guys is good, I'm real good.
Twan, what's going on with you, fam? Happy to have you on tonight, man. Like we said, we fresh off the draft. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I thought it was only right. I come through and commemorate it the right way. You know what I'm saying? You know, that official draft merch, on the clock, the Niners Select, Field Level Pat, we here. Hello. We in the building. But, man, what a great draft, man. What a great draft that we was able to experience. It was just a great feeling to once again have the draft, right? Like people there, the fans cheering, the walkout, the hug. One thing we missed this year, which was kind of crazy, was Goodell didn't get booed like that. It kind of threw me off, bro. Like Goodell got a little bit of love out there. I said, nah, this ain't right. We gotta get them boos in on Goodell. But definitely a very, very good draft. It was a lot to be said. I think we all knew going into this draft. Everyone knew who was going number 1. Everyone knew who was going number 2. Coming in at number 3, that's when the draft was going to start to take shape, right? We all knew that. We all knew it was Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and then the draft was going to start to take shape. So, with that being said, let's kind of go through and cut this thing up a little bit. Quan, I want to start off with you tonight and kind of like let's have a dialogue about who you feel may have been the winners of this draft. Like, who do you feel like, what team did you feel like really put themselves in position to take the next step going into this season through the draft?
So first off, shout out to everybody in the Field Level family. This is going to be an interesting show, but a lot of hot takes, a lot of disagreements, and some love. So let's kick it off. So without being a homer for my team, I really think 2 teams in particular, I think really did a good job in the draft. There's a bunch of teams we can go, but I'm going to highlight for one, the Detroit Lions. I really like what they did, especially with their first pick. I really didn't see Penei Sewell going to the Lions. I thought he would have been off the board at 5 to the Bengals. I thought they were going to be smart, but they were not smart, but that's okay. The Lions, I think, got themselves a day 1 starter. He's going to walk in there, change the culture, and not be given the starting role. He'll earn that starting role. He's a dog. He's going to command the offensive line. Jared Goff is going to love him for years to come. What's up, Rob? I really do think that's, like, to me, if you want to call it a steal, because he didn't really fall, he still went top 10, but I think that's a great pick, dude. Like, especially for the quarterback that they have now in Jared Goff, who needs protection of a line. When the Rams got to the Super Bowl a couple of years back, he had a very good offensive line. Very, very good. Mm-hmm. He had a very good running game, which the Lions have been building their running game over the past few seasons with drafting DeAndre Swift last year, and before that getting Kerryon Johnson, who was a boy. He just got to stay healthy, and then they had obviously All Reliable up there. So then I'll highlight one of the other picks, or 2 of the other picks. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who now that's a steal. He should have went at least 3rd. He's gonna come in and demand that starting role out of the slot. And when you look at the way Jared Goff likes to play his game and what made him successful in the Rams, it wasn't really a lot of down the field passing, which is why it made sense to get him and not maybe go after one of the bigger name guys who could just stretch the field. That's not where Jared Goff makes a lot of his money. He makes a lot of his money in the short intermediate game, and that's Amon-Ra St. Brown's, lane right there. So I really like that. And then one last guy I'll highlight on that team. Oh my God, I'm gonna blank on his name, but it's a linebacker from Purdue. If you could check that, Pat, for me, that'd be great. But it's a linebacker from Purdue who's a tackling machine. I think they got him in the fifth or sixth round as well. He's going to come in and compete to start ever since they got rid of Jared Davis. So I think that'll be a
Derek
great
Barnes. Move. Derek Barnes.
There you go. He's a tackling machine, man. Just turn on the tape. You see everything you need to see. And then the other team I'll highlight just real quick and I'll pitch it over. I really like what the Broncos did. And getting Pat Surtain, which we already had our debate last show about Surtain. So we're not going to go deep. I'm not going to deep dive in it. But I do think getting him
Javonte Williams.
Yeah, he's a boy too. But I expect him to kind of be he's the new 1-2 punch. He's going to provide the 1-2 punch now that they're missing with Lindsey going away. But Melvin, oh my God, what's his name, bro? The running back is already there.
Gordon.
There you go, Melvin Gordon. Him and Williams are going to be a good 1-2 punch. Getting Bridgewater in the trade, him and Drew Lock will battle it out. They already got enough weapons on the outside. I just like what they did for the pieces. They added another lineman in there, and then I think Surtain was just great, man. So great pick. So those are the two teams I'll highlight now. We can go forever, but I'm gonna say those two.
No doubt about it, man. CT, go ahead on and jump in here. I'm gonna hold the right to reserve the final thoughts on who I want to talk about and kind of maybe touch a little bit on some of the foolishness Quan said. Go ahead, CT.
Oh my God.
Yeah, good. So I'm gonna go with Baltimore, man. For years upon years, every single year I said the same thing. When are they gonna get a receiver? And they went and got Rashad Bateman. Now you can debate how you feel about him, but honestly, biggest need on that team, man. Some people said that they should have won it with the Ole Miss receiver with Elijah Moore, but why would you get the same thing that you? He's better actually than Hollywood, but that's my opinion. But I believe he's better, but I don't see why you would get the same thing over. People said that about the Raiders; they should have went after him too. I disagree. I mean, if you got Ruggs, you better see what that is. Elijah Moore is deep though, but Rashad Bateman I think was a good pick for them. Good target for Lamar as he tries to take the next step in his career. As a passer. They went and got a linebacker, Odafe Owe. I know they need to replace the guy that they lost. So, I mean, any way you can fill that slot, that's important, especially with that scheme. They should be able to, fill somebody in and hopefully get some production there. They go for a guard in Cleveland, who actually I followed for the last couple of years. He's a good guard. I think he'll come in and really challenge for a starting role. They got a young corner because they are getting a little bit long in the tooth with Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey, respectively, at the corner position, who are still good. But it's good to have some depth and some youth there that can learn. And then I got another corner, Sean Wade, in the 5th round. So I just felt that they attacked some of their needs long-term in depth and that receiver thing just for the Ravens, because this is a playoff team already, right, with the running game and what Lamar's able to do. But add a weapon that can start potentially day one at the receiver position, open up Hollywood Brown's game, and really highlight, the passing attack that Lamar is going to need in order for him to win in this league. So I want to shout out the Ravens for sure.
No doubt about it. I'm excited because I think a lot of people are going to say I'm going to go with the Niners. I think the Niners had a great draft.
Of course you do.
Did they not? Don't do that. Don't do that. But I want to touch on the Carolina Panthers. I felt like the Carolina Panthers put together a really, really solid draft. I think J.C. Horn, I think we all kind of talked about this, is going to be a dog. Getting Marshall Jr. from LSU, the receiver, to bring him over, pair him up with Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. I think that's going to be a great move for them. And I also felt like them going out and getting tight end Tommy Tremble from Notre Dame, who is a straight baller, was a big move for them, as well as I could keep this thing going a little bit longer. Chuba Hubbard has been one of the best backs in the country, religiously almost. You finish off the back of the draft. You get Shi Smith from South Carolina, who's a boy, at receiver. And then you also bring in Keith Taylor, who's a long corner from Washington. I feel like Carolina did some really, really good things in this draft, man. I think that they put together something that can definitely push them in the right direction. And I would be remiss if I did not speak on the San Francisco 49ers. I have to speak on the San Francisco 49ers.
I guess.
You can't not just talk about them on this show. Here we are. Where the world thought it was Mac Jones. I thought it was going to be Fields, but I was leaning towards Mac Jones just because of the way that the media was trying to mess me up. Here comes Trey Lance. The more I think about it, the more I begin to like it. It's because for this reason. I like to sit with myself for a while, man. I like to sit with it and kind of, break it down over time, Quan. I don't like to just sit there and just jump right off the back, right?
Uh-huh.
So what is it that the 49ers love to do?
Or are you asking
ball.
Or okay, I thought you were asking.
Thank you for that nice hat, P. I had to expedite shipping.
It's all right.
Expedited shipping, Saudi. Expedited. But I will say this: the 49ers love to run the ball, right? So when you draft a guy like Trey Lance, that brings a complete whole another dimension to that run game, because it puts defenses in such a strain in the run game, because you have to account for Trey Lance, you have to account for Raheem Mostert, you have to account for Deebo Samuel, you have to account for Kyle Juszczyk. I'm talking about in the run game. You have to account for Kyle Juszczyk. You have to account for George Kittle. I'm talking about in the run game, Quan.
Okay.
For a young quarterback, if the defense is going to be so stressed about the zone read, the RPO, it begins to open up the field for him to make easy throws, because it puts the defense in it. That play action is going to be nasty. Oh, it's going to be nasty. It's going to be so nasty. That play action is going to be filthy. So it puts defenses in a bad position because you don't know what these guys are going to do. You don't. You really honestly don't. And when you go out and you get a guy like Aaron Banks, shout out El Cerrito High in El Cerrito, California, not too far from the home base, who is just a bully. Came out on KNBR today, Quan. I'm going to tell you what the man said. CT, I'm going to tell you what he said too. Aaron Banks says, I like to hurt people. Say what? So come on, bro. Keep it pushing. Not to mention, thank you, Saudi. That's why I like talking to Saudi every once in a while. Let me tell you. So then, not to mention the fact that they go in the third round and get Trey Sermon, who is arguably the most violent runner in this draft. What? Huh? Did the rich get richer? Not to mention the kid from Western Michigan, who I feel like is an extreme steal, a big body, a mover of people, right? You got Ambry Thomas, who's a ball hawk, he's just Ambry Thomas. Quan, you like stats, right?
I do.
CT, you like stats. Ambry Thomas, when Ambry Thomas is playing corner, over his career at Michigan, quarterbacks had a 46.4 QBR.
Did you get that from Football Focus?
No, I got that from ESPN.
Okay, I respected that.
It was 43 actually.
It was 43.4. I apologize. 43.4 QBR against that kid. You go out and you get the Lenoir, whatever you want to call Lenoir from Oregon, one of the most physical corners in the draft. I'm good, man. I'm solid, bro.
So
toast to the good life. You can interject whenever you want to.
Okay, it's really refreshing to see you and CT smile whenever y'all talking about the Niners. This is the time when draft is over and everybody, you go down your list, right? And everybody is a steal, everybody's a dog, everybody's a beast. You know what I'm saying? I can appreciate the enthusiasm coming from you guys. Let's just pump the brakes. They have to play first. You know what I'm saying?
Nope, don't go there. Nope.
Look,
nope.
Hold on. Listen. There's only one thing I don't like, and I respect you and CT for not saying this, because Niner fans everywhere on social media, especially on our Twitter, which is at the Field Level 1, on our Twitter, you see all the Niner fans that we follow already got these nicknames for Trey. You know, it's Trey Mania. It's
Trey area.
You know, Trey area, and then every Sunday is gonna be Trey Day, not Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like the Bryant even threw a pass yet. Can we?
Not to mention when Trey Sermon and Trey Lance are in the backfield at the same time, it's not a play action, it's a Trey action. Just putting that out there.
See, that's what I'm saying. And Trey, I love Trey Sermon, but is Trey Sermon gonna get touches to be that violent? I mean, y'all do like to play 5 running backs a game.
Come on, dog.
I'm just
because of injuries, bro. We'll go with 3. Yeah.
Use checks 1. Mostert gonna get the ball. Sermon gonna get the ball. Jeff
use check. Come on, son. This boy said use check like he a premier back on the team. Like he just out here getting 15 touches a game.
What I'm saying is he get the ball. Mostert get the ball. Sermon gonna want to get the ball, and you guys have been campaigning for Jeff Wilson to get more of the ball. Come on, man. I'm just saying. Oh, and Pat, I thought you loved the McCasey.
There's 3 of them.
Kid.
I like McCasey for sure.
Bro, that's like 5 backs.
Can I? So no, it's not. Let's clear the air. Okay. Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Trey Sermon. Those are going to be your premier backs. Those are going to be your 3 backs that are in a heavy rotation. McCasey is there just in case someone gets hurt. Kyle Juszczyk plays fullback, H-back. That's what it is at the end of the day. Wayne Gallman. I don't think Wayne Gallman's going to make the team now.
Which is crazy.
I highly doubt that, but I thought y'all said Jeff Wilson was the best running back y'all had. Didn't you? When y'all say that?
Yeah.
So
did that change?
How is he? Trey Sermon could be better because if he's healthier than Jeff Wilson.
But how is Jeff Wilson, in y'all opinion, the best running back on the team, and you don't even say he's going to get in the rotation, Pat? You didn't mention his name.
I just said that.
You said Mostert. You said Mostert.
Wilson said.
Yes.
You said
Wilson.
Oh, my bad.
Come on, bro. What are you talking?
Hey, Pat.
My bad.
Quan, I know what's going on here, bro. I see you scratching your head, confused.
I know exactly what it is.
Let down.
I'm not confused
because there's not a nickname for the Leather Man.
Leatherface.
I'm excited. I'm excited about that. What you talking about? I'm Juice. What you mean?
Leatherface.
I'm Juice. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's have let's have a conversation about it because I feel like it does merit a conversation, right?
Yes,
you guys know we got to talk about it because just on this show, the way the show is set up is that me and CT are diehard 49er fans. Laquan is a diehard Raider fan. In the first round, pick 17, the Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock.
Yep.
At this place right here, there's a litany of different people that everyone's talking about. Who are the Raiders going to get at 17? Who's the guy? Who will it be at 17?
It wasn't that exciting.
The pick is in. The pick is in. Yep. Roger Goodell makes his way.
Yep.
With the 17th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Alex Leatherwood, Alabama.
Yep. Is there a problem?
I was trying to figure out where it came from. Can you help me understand that? Honestly, help me understand.
I sure can. I got you. Okay, so check this out. No one, unless you're one of the main, unless you're like one of the top 2 linemen, maybe 3 linemen, you don't get talked about, right? But from after he got picked, because I don't break down film of linemen. So Antoine said, "Stay doing stupid." Yeah, you might be right. We do have a history of some bad picks, but is Antoine a Niner fan too?
Yep.
Okay, so we do have a history of stupid picks, but so do y'all, a la AJ Jenkins, and we can go on and on and on. So let's keep pushing. I didn't scout Leatherwood, but when I listened to Mel Kiper, I listened to Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks, a few other analysts who are pretty respectable. Their grade on Leatherwood was late first, early second.
You're lying. What? I heard second and third, but go ahead. Because I don't know. Because we're trying to make it sound good. But I heard second and third. Go ahead. I apologize.
Okay, well, whatever analyst. Well, no, it's okay. Whatever analyst you heard, there's countless analysts who say stuff. So it could have been second and third for somebody, but the people that I was listening to said late first, early second. More likely early second, but late first, early second. The Raiders picked at 17. Our next pick was I think it was
43.
40. No. We traded up to get 43. We traded up to get Morrig.
Right.
So our pick was later than 43. So if they we
traded with you guys.
Exactly. So I don't know what the pick was before we traded, but it was beyond 43. So if they really wanted alignment and they saw Leatherwood on their board being there, they probably thought he ain't gonna be there if we stay at this pick. Mm-hmm. So we gonna take him now, and then we gonna move forward. Now we needed the big need for Raider fans was we needed a safety. That was the big need. Morrig, Mike Mayock said, was the highest rated safety on their board, and he was the highest rated safety in the draft until after he got picked, and then out of nowhere, an injury report came out saying he had a small back issue, but he's fine now. That's why he slipped. I think the Raiders did good because they traded up to get him, so they didn't miss him, and Leatherwood wouldn't have been there if we wouldn't have not took him there. So when you look at all that I just said, I think it makes sense. Now we could talk about the player all you want. But I think it's a good pick. If you look at his tape, he's a mauler in the run game. He's a little stiff in the hips, but a lot of linemen are not super nimble. But I think he's gonna be good. They said he's gonna come in and start right now at guard. What's wrong with that? I like that. And to me, you can never get mad at lineman picks because none of us, me, you, CT, maybe CT, but none of us watch film of linemen. So really, we don't know. I think it's good.
Quan, didn't you guys get like 3 other safeties though?
Yeah.
So we drafted.
They're listed as DBs. Nate Hobbs, Tyreek Gillespie.
Nate Hobbs is going to be a slot. Gruden already came out and said he wants him to compete with Amik Robertson, who was a 4th-round draft pick for us last year, to compete for the slot because Joyner's gone now. Morrig is going to probably be our free safety opening day unless someone beats him out. And then the other safety we got I forgot his name. I think it's Divine Diablo from Virginia Tech. They drafted him to play linebacker because he's like 230 something. So really, we could just say he's a linebacker now. And then we got the dude from Missouri, who I like. So, I mean, and plus our back end was like your running backfield last year. CT, no one could stay healthy. Abram was hurt. Jeff Heath got hurt. Eric Harris got hurt, and then he's gone. He got traded. So I mean, I don't see the problem.
You know what? It's kind of like this. If you don't see the problem, I don't see the problem, Quan.
You just hating at the name. That's all it is.
No, I was hating on the pick as well. I'm sorry.
I don't know why. Why? It's nice.
Just wasn't the smartest pick. With that being said, all these guys that were drafted this year, and Saudi actually had a question for you, Quan. 2 first-round picks, 2 seconds, and Derek Carr for A-Rod.
Before I answer Sadi's question, Pat, you said you didn't like the pick. Who would you have liked the Raiders to pick there?
What do you mean?
You said you didn't like the pick. So what pick would you have liked to go there? Who would you have liked to see the Raiders get there at 17?
I can't even remember who was there at that time. I just, I mean, it might have been the best pick for you guys. I don't know.
There we go.
I'll tell you. I can't remember who. I couldn't remember. I just because off the top of my head, I can't remember who was there at that time.
Jamon Davis. That's who it could have been.
Who?
He's still a linebacker from Kentucky.
I see now. In my opinion, I'm not going to disagree with you, CT. But when you get a new defensive coordinator and you shell out big free agent money to 2 linebackers last year, who probably were playing in a not a system that's conducive to them, you probably just get the defensive coordinator switch and then you let them go back to what they were playing when you signed them as free agents. So that's why we don't do that, the linebacker.
But you signed a safety who's transitioning to a linebacker, so why not just use a linebacker?
Because we don't have depth at the will linebacker where he's going to play. He's going to play will. The only will we have on our roster is Morrow, who we gave a 1-year deal to last year, who was a Raider already. So we don't have no depth. Thank you very much. I know my team, cuz. Now,
all right. So with that being said, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
Go ahead.
Sadi, no.
You wouldn't trade two 1s and 2 2s for Derek? I mean, and Derek for A-Rod?
Not 2. I'm not trading 2 1s. We'll give you a 1.
After you and Ed decided you guys wanted to publicly bash me on Facebook, and you come on here today and say you would not trade two ones for Aaron Rodgers.
Because the
I
difference
no longer
is,
want to hear any, and I don't want to hear anything at all.
Hold on.
At all.
Derek's better than Jimmy, so that's why we don't do that. Y'all would need him more than we would. Derek's better than Jimmy.
Is he?
Don't do that. Don't get
when
that
healthy.
on the car.
I'm asking you a question. When healthy, when 100% healthy, is Derek Carr better than Jimmy?
Yes, he is.
All right.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Field level chat.
Cool.
Field level chat. Answer that question. Everything equal, healthy and all. Who's a better quarterback, Derek Carr or Jimmy Garoppolo? Okay, Pat, continue with the show.
Who will lead his team farther?
That's not CT. We didn't ask that because football's a team game. So we asking just who's better. Who's a better quarterback? We didn't say.
So my next question tonight for you guys is this: out of the draft, right? All these guys were just selected. Who out of these guys do you guys feel like will impact their team the most positively going into this upcoming season? CT, I'll start with you.
Run that by me one more time.
It was the basically the who's going to have the biggest impact.
I think I'll surprise you a little bit. I'm actually going to say Jamar Chase. I think he's gonna. I'm not mad at the pick because I appreciate what they're doing, giving Joe Burrow weapons. I just felt like they needed to really focus on the line, but supposedly their line is okay. That's the belief there. They felt like getting him playmakers that he's familiar with was key. So I believe that is a player that will. And then the guy from Florida, Tommy.
Kadarius Toney.
Really?
Yeah. I think he'll be deep because look. Wow. Have you seen what the receiving group, the room looks like in New York now?
Yeah, it looks like he's not going to start. But go ahead.
Oh wow.
No, wow. It's an impactful group, man. Your fifth is John Ross. I'm not saying that's amazing, but like they got some talent, man. Sterling Shepard, Galladay. What's the other dude who was nice that you like? Slayton.
Yeah, Darius Slayton.
They're pretty deep right there.
You still got Evan Ingram in the tight end position.
Exactly. So those are the two players I think will make an impact.
All right, me coming back. I'll come up. I'll let you finish this thing out, Quan. Essence says she loves this show.
Thank you.
I gotta say, the person I feel like was going to come in and have immediate impact on that team is going to make them better immediately. For me, I'm a cheat. I'm gonna go easy. Najee Harris. I feel like Najee Harris in Pittsburgh is going to come in. He's going to be the starter right off of the bat. He's going to provide them some great explosion out of the backfield. He as well will be a help check down in the passing game for those guys up there. So, with Chase Claypool, Juju still being there, and then what's my other guy?
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson. Yeah, Deontay Johnson. So with those guys, you bring in Najee Harris and have him run those intermediate routes because he did that very well at Alabama. And I think that he's a guy who's definitely going to lift Pittsburgh to a level that they're already a great team, but just lift them up a little bit more. So Najee is going to be my guy who's going to come in day one and really, really going to do it for me. I want to put this out there before you go, Quan. Just a thought, and then you guys in the chat kind of talk about this as well. Is this the worst draft in the last 5 years for edge rushers? There wasn't a dominant edge rusher in this draft.
I mean, on college tape, yeah, but you never know. Sometimes,
I mean, just coming in like the mystique of the Nick Bosa's, the Chase, all those guys.
So it was three. It was the guy from Washington, your guy from the U, and
but they wasn't them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I would say wasn't the first one drafted the dude from Michigan?
Was he?
I think he was the first one that was drafted.
Okay. Or it might have been. Well, it wasn't the guy from the U, right? It wasn't 15. Jacob. What was his name? Jacob. Jalen. Wasn't Jalen?
No, but he went first round though.
Yeah. Well, I know Jalen and Greg went first round, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to pick players that are gonna see the field early. That's the way we're gonna be able to judge like which
100%.
rookie's gonna have the immediate impact. So, hey Pat, to add to you when you said Najee Harris, did you hear what Najee Harris said? His little interview. He's I guess someone asked him something about Le'Veon Bell. He's like, I believe I can do everything Le'Veon did, if not better.
And he could, 100%.
I mean, it sounds good, but it just got to happen.
Are you? Come on, dog. Come on, dog.
Bruh,
Go to sleep.
I'm running back in college, bro.
I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just not gonna crown nobody until he produces. I love him too. He Bay Area product. Come on, man. But anyway, I'm gonna say I really think Amon-Ra St. Brown gonna have an immediate impact. What
is your infatuation with this kid?
His brother was supposed to be better, and they got a little brother who's nice too at Stanford.
Yeah,
right
his brother really hasn't doing well with Green Bay. He got a case of the drops, but he had a case of the drops at Notre Dame. But
Amon-Ra St. Brown is cool.
Did you know their dad is Mr. Universe like 4 times in a row?
Yeah,
I did not know that. But it's not even that. It's not even that he's the best receiver in the draft because CT already kind of said who some other guys. It's just the fact of the system the system he's in and where he's going, and look who's throwing in the ball and who he likes to throw to. We always talked about Jared Goff, Robert Woods, and Cooper Kupp were never the best receivers in the league, but they always were getting 70, 80 catches a year, over 1,000 yards. And what routes do they run? They control the intermediate game. That's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown now. And you got TJ Hawkinson, who is going to be like the Rams version of like Tyler Higbee, they're all going to be doing them little routes, the little under routes, intermediate routes. He is underrated. So I just think he's going to have an immediate impact like quickly there. Not even that he's the best, but immediate impact there. And then someone on the defensive side, I really do think that the Raiders safety, Trayvon Morgan, we got in the second, who should have been the first safety off the board if he was completely healthy. He could play free. He could play strong. He could play slot corner. I think I saw a stat line today from CBS Sports that had like his usage rate at TCU. And he had like over 300 snaps in the nickel, 400 and strong, and another 400 at free. Like, he's nasty. He's nasty. So I think those players are going to make immediate impact. So those are the ones that I'm going to go for. But then, CT, if you don't mind, can I push back on what you said about Tony? Let's just play the hypothetical, right? Your starting receivers is going to be your X, Darius Slayton, right? Your Z is going to be – I'm sorry. Darius Slayton is going to be the Z now because Kenny Golladay going to be the X, right? And then your slot –
Slayton play slot, bro.
Okay, you put Slayton in the slot. So then what are you going to do with Sterling Shepard? Is Kadarius Toney just going to take his spot immediately?
I see what you're saying. That's a good point.
You see what I'm saying? So unless huh?
He's your red zone guy off the bat.
Who?
Tony.
Probably. I ain't gonna lie. I thought that to me was the only reach of the first round. That guy right there, because I think he's gonna make an immediate impact in the return game. But being a receiver, I don't know. I think that was more of an insurance policy because they probably gonna get rid of Sterling Shepard, whether he's gonna get traded or he's gonna get hurt again. So I thought that was an insurance policy.
They need some height. The Niners went through that problem for a few years as well. We had Brandon Lloyd, we just didn't have no height. So it's really important that you develop that, get a red zone target. They haven't had that obviously since Megatron, to be honest. So I think that's important. And Galladay could do it, but he still doesn't have the height and the measurables for that, even though he's capable.
Yeah, y'all. No, he's definitely a baller. I do see what Quan is talking about though. Like, if Sterling Shepard can stay healthy, it's going to be hard to pull that guy off of the field.
Right. He's like your fourth option right now, and so unless the Giants are going to plan on going, full blown, 2x2 sets everywhere true spread, true air raid, I don't know how he's going to see the field unless it's special teams. He could start at kick return and punt return right now. But everywhere else,
John Ross will do that.
Yeah, he wasn't even doing that in Cincy when he was healthy, was he?
I can't get it with you on the John Ross one. See, I love you to death.
Yeah,
I can't get with you on the John Ross. I can't get you on John Ross. Quan, can you keep it going and let us know in your perspective who was the losers? Like who lost this year? Like who completely blew this draft?
Okay, so this was really hard for me when we were talking about this today in our pre-show. I really, truly don't think any team completely bombed the draft, like completely. But there are some teams that I just don't agree with their first round pick. So let me just do that. And then I'm sure if you guys have some bombs, I could probably chime in on that. I do think the Bengals, they didn't bomb the first pick, like CT said earlier. Like, you can't really be mad at Chase, but it wasn't needed, bro. It wasn't needed. I don't know why you have T. Higgins, who pretty much stole AJ Green's job, right? And he was productive. Then you got Tyler Boyd. He stole it, bro.
Just let him talk. Just let him talk. Let him talk.
Okay, fine. He didn't steal it. AJ Green gave it up. Whatever you want to say.
AJ Green was trash.
All right, man. Calm down, bro. Anyway,
he was.
T. Higgins is productive there. He was productive. Then you have Tyler Boyd, who you already committed to long term. He's a dog. I just don't think you needed a lineman to solidify that more than a receiver. Now, granted, they did make some O-line moves in free agency, but that's not a long-term play. The long-term play was Sewell. And he could start right now at guard or tackle. He got flexibility there. I just think Burrow needs a wall ahead of him. Because clearly when he was in there, offense really wasn't the problem. It was health.
Yeah.
So
they're trying to strike iron again, right? It's like, they had this connection at LSU. A Heisman winning year for Joe Burrow. Let's give him his toy back and see what he can do with it. I think that's kind of what their thought process was, which I'm not going to be. I completely agree with it, but I do kind of understand it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's exactly. I mean, that's kind of it. Just was what it was, and I get you on that one for sure, 100%.
And then last one, I already talked about Tony, so I don't got to go in deep with that. This might be a shock to you guys. I can't knock it, but this is exactly what you just said, Pat. Another quarterback trying to be reunited with his old receiver friend. I don't think the Dolphins needed to get Waddle. Because when I looked at their roster, right, Parker's going to start on the outside. Will Fuller's also going to start on the outside. That's what they did, or that's what Will Fuller did his whole time with the Texans.
They're both going to be hurt after week one.
You know what's funny? You said they're both going to be hurt, but wasn't Waddle just hurt? So again, and then
touche. That was a good one.
And then the guy that they have on their roster already, who he's not him. Don't get me mistaken. He is not Jalen Waddle with skill level overall as a receiver. But his traits, Jakeem Grant is a high 4.2, 4.3 kind of guy. He's their speed guy. So the way I think they're going to use Waddle immediately is the way they already had on their roster. So I
understand the speed. It's kind of like the John Ross argument, right? I think he was a better athlete, but keep it real with you, bro. There's no doubt about it. Waddle's a better player.
I said he was, but the way they're going to be used, I think, is to start. He's probably going to be coming out of slot a lot, unless you're going to move Parker in the slot.
There's a little respect on this table too. Preston Williams ain't a bad player.
So then, why do we need Waddle then? And like Pat said, Parker and Fuller going to be hurt.
Parker's going to drop balls and Fuller's going to miss time.
And so is Waddle. He just came off a huge injury.
And he came back for the freaking national championship game and tried to play.
He wasn't even.
So let's
you know what?
But it shows you the character of the kid.
Yeah, you're right. Like I said, I don't hate it. I just don't think it was necessary. But go ahead.
I think what you saw from AJ Green. I'm just saying.
100%.
That's a fact.
AJ still hurt.
Come on, bro. Come on, man. What y'all think, man? What y'all think?
We're talking losers.
F grades.
Tennessee. I thought that was awkward. They bombed last year, obviously, with their first round pick. Don't really agree with what they did this year either. I feel like they're stagnant. I feel like they're kind of high on their juice because they had a really good, last 2 years they played really well. They didn't finish the job, obviously, but they put themselves in contention to be one of the upper echelon AFC teams. And I feel like they kind of dropped the ball this year with their picks. I think they're relying on Derrick Henry's greatness, which we all know. considering who he is and how he runs, that's not a long window of opportunity for them. And I feel like they need to add pieces around them to make that happen. You lose Corey Davis. They got some receiver in the draft. I forgot his name off the top of my head, but yeah, I just feel like they didn't take it seriously enough. Like you see what Kansas City did. Kansas City tried to stack back up, and I respect that. They treated it as if they weren't, a Super Bowl perennial team, and that's the attitude that you got to have. I didn't feel that from the Titans at all, and I think that was one of my biggest letdowns in the draft.
I'm over here and I'm doing research. I'm trying to see. Twan said nothing really matters. The 49ers draft was amazing.
It really wasn't, Antoine, but I respect it. It really wasn't.
It was though. That's what I'm talking about. Like, what was not amazing about the 49ers draft?
Pat, half the people they drafted, you didn't even know who they was, so you looked at their highlights.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
Stop.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
Stop.
You're a liar. We drafted boys that are known. Now I had to look up Alex Leatherwood for sure.
See, that's what I'm saying. You a hater. That's what I'm saying. Hatred, bro.
I didn't know Trey Sermon. I didn't know Trey Lance. I didn't know Ambry Thomas. I didn't know Lenore from Oregon. Like I didn't know these guys.
No, you did not. Not like that. Not like that, bro. No, you did not. Go ahead.
Oh my God, you sound like a hater.
Hey man, y'all still think Jalen Hurd gonna start? Stop it.
I don't think that. This is the type of this is you say stuff for shock value. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna keep it.
I will have 15 sacks this year.
I'm gonna keep it in an NFC West though. When I talk about who I felt like had a pretty trash draft,
Let's do it.
The Arizona Cardinals. Like,
really?
What? Yeah, I didn't like it. Outside of the first two picks, right? You get Zaven Collins, who will play for Tulsa. We'll find out.
Wow.
What?
Finish. We coming back to that. Go ahead.
We'll find out. We don't know what's your production or projection. Rondell Moore.
Okay.
It's cool.
That was a nice
it was a nice pick. He's cool. I'm waiting to kind of see how he does on the next level to keep it all the way live with you. After that, you get Marco Wilson from Florida. Then you don't have enough. You'll get linebacker Victor Dumakiji from Duke. Then you get Tay Gowan from Central. Like it's just their draft didn't have like a concise it didn't. When you look at a draft, it has to mesh for me, right? It has to make sense.
Okay.
You drafted 1, 2, 3. You drafted 3 DBs, 2 linebackers, a receiver, and a center. When you go out and you get 3 DBs, do you know what that lets me know? That secondary is terrible. You drafted 3 DBs?
We know that.
Well.
But I'm sorry, the Raiders did too. Well, we know your secondary is terrible.
Wow.
Got it. Yeah. You got to replace Pat P, but it just didn't make sense to me. And they didn't do it with guys who are high caliber guys for me. Straight like that. Ambry Thomas, I can throw out stats for you for Ambry Thomas to tell you why I felt like he was a great pick. I can throw out stats for you why I can tell you why Lenore from the corner from Oregon was a great pick. I can't give you as to why Tay Gowan from Central Florida is a great pick.
Oh,
or James Wiggins from Cincinnati. I just can't do
it. Could you throw us stats on the guys you drafted before the draft?
Yeah, yes, I watch football, Quan.
I know you do. I'm just talking. I'm just talking my mess because you over here.
I can tell you how Trey Sermon went crazy on Northwestern before the draft. I could have told you that. I could tell you how he was running through Clemson's defense. I could have told you that before the draft, straight like that.
What's the problem with Tulsa, bro?
It's not a big. I mean, the same issues that people have with the smaller schools all the time.
Right. So we can't say he just. I mean, if that's the case, then
I just said it's. Wait to be seen. I just said I have to wait to see.
Okay. As long as we consistent, because we gotta wait to see what Trey gonna do as well. You know what I'm saying?
100%. I'm a realist.
Okay.
I'm a realist. We gotta wait to see what Alex Leatherwood does. We have to wait to see. We just don't know.
Y'all gonna leave Leatherwood alone, man.
You know, and that's just the way that it's the way that cookie crumbles. To keep it a bean with you.
I have a question. Like in all seriousness, do you think the Cardinals draft was so like weird? Because when you look at their roster, even before the draft, how many holes did they need to fill? I think their roster was pretty like they don't have a lot of holes really.
For Arizona,
do they have a lot of holes?
Yeah,
boy.
Tells you that.
Do you watch football?
I do, but like, okay, you say all these DBs mean their secondary room is trash.
All right, let me go ahead. Keep on talking. I'm about to look something up for you, bro.
No, I just like they weren't they like a 7-2 or a 6-2 team at one point before the wheels fell off? So I mean, they can't be.
So think about this: when wheels fall off for teams like Arizona, you'll notice that defenses break down sooner, right? So they don't finish the season strong. Same thing happened with Seattle. Their defense was breaking, depending on the offense too much. That's what they were doing with Kyler Murray, and they burned and flamed out. So they needed to go and solidify some of those challenges that they had defensively. Also, they didn't have Chandler Jones, which really hurt them, from a pass.
Yeah, that was big.
So, counting on young rookie linebacker, Simmons, it was a lot to ask, and he was getting chewed up early. So, these are telling signs of what this team needed, and they seem to falter late in the season.
Yeah, so they definitely lost people. They lost guys. They lost Patrick Peterson. They lost Hassan Reddick. They lost Kenyon Drake. They lost Mason Cole. Lost Dan Arnold, one of the tight ends. And then they lost to Angelo Blackson. But what I'm saying is this is what I mean when I say you lost Pat P, right? You lost Hassan Reddick, a linebacker. But in the same vein, you re-sign 1, 2, 3. You re-sign 3 DBs, then you sign Malcolm Butler. So you lost one, but then you go on the draft, you draft 3 of those guys. You draft 2 linebackers, but you also re-sign Marcus Golden. You know what I mean? You got Tanner Vallejo, you re-signed. You got Kyle Fitz that you tendered, and then Dennis Gardick that you got for a second-round tender. So it just didn't make sense to me as to like why they did what they did within that draft. You know what I mean?
I get what you're
saying. Getty says Arizona coaching is the biggest problem. Sadi says Cliff Kingsbury is their biggest hole. Then it was also Miles said I actually was surprised the Pac-12 drafted well because of players getting years back, which is very interesting because the Pac-12 gave all of their athletes their year back. So for them to draft as well as they did within the Pac-12 was dope. University of Washington is starting to be the place to be if you want to get drafted in the Pac-12. They definitely put out guys.
Especially DBs.
Coach P go crazy up there. Last topic we'll touch for a second just before we get out of here on tonight. It's been a pretty dope show up until this point. Last topic I want to touch is going in. Draft is over now, right? OTAs are coming. Just give me just one. We'll stay in the AFC, NFC West, so we don't go that far. Let's stay on the West Coast. I'm throwing this out there, and then just to let you guys know that's watching the field level don't even know I'm about to throw this to them. So they're looking at me like, what is he about to say? Give me one team, AFC West, NFC West. After this draft has concluded, what is one position battle that you are very intrigued about going into this offseason, going into OTAs?
CT, you can go first.
I keep it simple. I think the 49ers receiving situation. Some believe that we needed to replace Kendrick Bourne and that third receiver, if you will, the guy that can come up and start. If you look at who we have, obviously Debo, Ayuk at the top of the depth chart. Travis Benjamin's coming back. Jalen Hurts coming off an injury. You still don't know what you have there. You got Mohamed Sanu, Richie James, who I think could slide into that slot third receiver spot right there. And there's a few more names that they'll add and continue to grow with. What's his name? River Craig Craft is still there. just trying to go down the list. But I'm really intrigued to see if Jalen Hurd can get through practice, if he can get through OTAs. I'm pretty sure they'll just keep it light for him and bring him in during training camp to see if he's ready. But, Travis Benjamin, that could be big. And we definitely needed that, what he brings to the table with his pedigree. Mohamed Sanu is the vet. I don't even know if he makes it. I wish he would because I think he deserves it just as a mentor. And you saw the benefit of having an older vet receiver for the young Debo and AU in the past. So I'm hoping that he can maintain a spot, but I'm not sure if he will. So really intrigued by that position battle.
There it is. Quan, what's up with you?
I'm so bad with names, man. I had a bad day today at work, man.
It's all right. Let me touch on this one for a second. Can you look at this one? The Broncos secondary. Sadi says the Broncos secondary is what he's looking at, even though the Broncos drafted Patrick Surtain, so their secondary is going to be trash. But go ahead.
Oh, my gosh. The Raiders drafted a corner out of Illinois in the 5th round. I'm blanking on his name right now.
I got you. Don't worry. I'll bring up Mr. Irrelevant. Just give me a second.
Wow. See, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
In the 5th? Yeah, Nate Hobbs. Nate
Hobbs is going to fight to take somebody's spot. And with the rumors circulating that the Raiders are still looking to add one more veteran corner, whether it be Casey Hayward or Richard Sherman. Now, reported that Richard Sherman has been in talks with the Raiders. I don't think that's a secret, but a report came out that the Raiders had actually signed Casey Hayward, and then that reporter took it back saying it's false information. He apologized, but they did meet. So if that happens, I think Nate Hobbs is going to challenge to be a starting nickel corner right off the bat. But if we get a veteran, Arnett's job is already on the clock, and he's only been
Don't
there
do
a
that.
year.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's my favorite Raider. Chill out.
Pat, can I be – look, everybody's real with their teams, right? I like Damon Arnett. He's feisty. But the problem for him it's health. Like that seems to be the thing of the show. He got hurt like 6 different times last year. In and out, in and out, in and out. It's probably frustrating. I mean, it doesn't help that he probably weighs 180 pounds soaking wet. You know what I'm saying? So I think in order for him to stay healthy, I honestly think he needs to change the way he tackles, because all his hits come from him tackling. He throws his head around like it's nobody's business. Same problem with Abram. I think Abram, who I love, and Arnett are on the clock as far as like starting, because they just can't stay healthy, bro. And you can hear it in Gruden's voice when he drafts players. Right. You can hear it.
Right. Miles comes in. Miles says 49ers running back battle will be interesting to watch because Kyle loves who has the hot hand in running back. I completely agree with that. It's going to be something to see. Definitely going to be something to see. I could definitely see all 3 of those guys getting significant carries throughout the season. McCasey's going to be the odd man out, unfortunately. But definitely I can see those 3. It is what it is. When you go undrafted, it's kind of the nature of the game. And when you go undrafted and you don't produce at a high level when you get your chances. Remember, he got hurt once he got in there, so that was just kind of like didn't really fare well for him. But one position battle that I'm definitely looking at, I'm gonna say with the 49ers. I want to see what's going to happen with Brunskill, School, and Banks. I want to see who's going to be that guy. I know you take Banks in the second round, but it's interesting to see, who is going to be that guy. You know it's going to be Trent Williams. You know it's going to be Lincoln Tomlinson. You know it's going to be Alex Mack. You know it's going to be McGlinchey. That right guard position is definitely up in the air. I'm actually thinking, for me personally, depending on how Alex Mack is looking, I know he's a all-pro guy. But if he's looking shaky, I want to see Brunskill at center a lot more. Brunskill's a dog out there, so I want to see Brunskill at center a lot more. And then also I'm want to see, like I said, who's going to win that battle between School and Aaron Banks. That's my real one. Can we say though, I meant to say that earlier. The Rams confused me. Did y'all see the Rams draft?
I honestly, it wasn't even impactful.
It confused me so much because they took Tutu Atwell out of Louisville was their first pick.
That was horrible to me.
it was just so strange. And then they went and got another receiver from Notre Dame. But they I'm very familiar with that roster because, of course, but it just confused me. Like, what are you guys doing? Because on that roster, you got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Van Jefferson, Deshaun Jackson. Then you got, who's the other kid? The kid from Syracuse that they got as an undrafted guy. They had a kid from Cal Poly that they also had. So it kind of just was very confusing as to why we're drafting so many receivers in this draft. It was definitely a head scratcher. But yeah, definitely looking to see what that O-line does. 100%. Jalen Ramsey is their first pick, technically. Very true. Very true.
Hey, do you guys think that the Tutu Atwell is Tavon Austin reincarnated? Especially going to the Rams?
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
And they don't, for some reason, they're not showing Robert Woods love. So that move might have been to figure a way to get him out of there.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something going on there. It's something that's not all the way right there. 100%. 100%. Our last year's undrafted free agent is going to get their shots this year, says Saudi.
On what team?
I hope so. I believe so. Stay tuned. I really believe so. The last year's, not even last year's undrafted guys. It's kind of funny. I was looking at it. I was watching the draft and I was like, there's guys that went undrafted last year that would have been like third round picks this year.
Oh yeah, because this draft wasn't really deep like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like straight up, it was kind of odd, but straight up. So yeah, I definitely think they're gonna get their shot. Stay tuned and watch it, see what we can do. That's all I got, man. Any final things from my guys tonight?
Deion Sanders has a good point. Deion Sanders came out and said that nobody from a what did he say, CT, exactly? I don't want to misquote.
Nobody from the HBCU was drafted, and a lot of these HBCU coaches have been coming out and saying a few things about Prime and that team, and feeling like he hasn't earned the opportunity to be a coach at this level. And he's saying, take that fork out of my back and let's work together. Let's fight together to make sure that our kids are displayed and having this opportunity. And regardless of whether you think that he deserved to be in that spot or not, they're getting a lot of national press that they were not getting before. The facilities are starting to look better. All the things that they're doing at Jackson State. Eddie George gets an opportunity. Not saying that he didn't deserve it or wouldn't have got it, but I'm sure it helped that Prime kind of set that example and led the way. So, I think that's one thing that needs to be fixed. We don't need to knock each other. We need to stand together and make HBCU football something to reckon with, something that you want to be a part of and really develop from that perspective. So, I thought it was a good point that he made there.
100%.
I hope that they a couple of years ago, Deion wanted to do an HBCU NFL combine a couple of years ago, and it didn't happen due to whatever happened. And then, of course, COVID happened the following year. So hopefully he's able to orchestrate that back together. It might be hard for him to do it now that he's an actual coach. Before, he was just a high school coach trying to do it. But I think that'd be beneficial if they can get an HBCU combine and get that going, because, there's some ballers out there for sure.
Well, I think they should work with like the House of Athlete Brandon Marshall has going, because they did a lot of combine training for several athletes that were in this draft. And I think if they could do something similar, especially with the way, the combine and workouts work, considering COVID, I don't know how much of a difference it'll make this next offseason, but, there's definitely room for that to happen.
Sure.
Then one thing I wanted to mention too, Pat, you have brought this up, something that was bothering you, and I'll be quick, and I want you guys to chat about it. The number change. Single digit.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Absolutely terrible, bro.
Terrible.
I hate it with a passion. I think that it's it gives me it gives me high school vibes. So what happens is, like, if y'all know, y'all play football, right? So in high school, you can wear whatever bands and whatever wristbands and colors you want, right? Going in, or depending on what high school you go to. I know at Sacred Heart you probably couldn't do that. Jeff, we wore whatever we wanted to wear. But you wear whatever you want to wear, right? You graduate, you go to college. it gets a little bit stricter. You might be able to keep that same number, but you can't wear all those wristbands and stuff wherever you want them to go and all the different colors. And then your graduation from college is now you are placed into this category where you have to be clean, tight. Everybody looks the same. And then, the numbers, you can't wear the single digits and all that type of stuff. The fact that they are okaying this now, one, it doesn't it made the NFL different. It made you feel like you've arrived to this place, right? It's like, I'm a grown up now. Like I have to act grown, right? And now with them doing this, it just, it gives me such an immature vibe. Like it gives me like a not solidified vibe for me. Honestly, it also gives me a situation where it's kind of like, dang, what numbers are quarterbacks going to start racking? Like,
80s, 81.
It's like, dang, quarterbacks, every corner and linebacker and receiver rocking a single digit, like quarterbacks is about to be looking bad out there. So with that being said, Emmanuel Sanders, he's rocking the 1. Emmanuel Sanders is 38 years old, rocking 1. That's irritating. He's rocking 1.
I see Buda Barrett wearing 2. Kind of makes I ain't that bad.
Jason Verrett went to 2.
Right.
Buda Baker's going back to number 3.
Who?
I don't like it. Buda Baker.
Buda Baker's number 3. It's like Pat said, it's just immature. It's stupid. It's immature. It's childish. I think, and Patrick Peterson gonna be wearing number 7. I think it's just trash. Leonard Fournette's gonna wear number 7.
That's kind of saucy. A little late, but it's saucy.
No, it's no. Oh, okay. So, do you like it, CT overall? You like it?
I know the jerseys look cool. I think it's weird. I mean, us being players and coaches
purists
and things like purists. Thank you. I think that it kind of dampers the game. I kind of agree with Tom Brady. That it's going to make scheming and trying to do all that stuff very strange and awkward, and it's going to lead to sloppy play. So there's a penalty to be paid for these types of decisions. I think, for the kids, it's really just the entertainment factor. I take it for what it is, man. I can't get too wrapped up in it. Every veteran player says it's a kid's game. Well, this is a kid move. So it makes complete sense why they would do it. It's whatever. I mean, let them enjoy it. If this makes them even happier, then whatever.
Hey, in my opinion, if you really want to make it lovable for the kids, keep the numbers the way they've been and just allow free range on visors. That'll make it like it was back in the day if you want to make it good for the players.
Yeah. Let's go back to the mirror visors. Let's go back to
mirror
the orange
tint,
and the
orange,
all that. Let's go back to that.
Let's do that.
I'm cool with that.
What
they're gonna do next is that they're gonna have double numbers. It's gonna be like Tom Brady rocking 12 on offense and freaking
that's pushing
Levante David rocking 12 on defense. It's gonna look dumb.
Hey, some D lineman was on the NFL Sirius XM podcast talking about can I wear 00? You know how ugly that's gonna be, bro? It's gonna look like preseason every week.
It's terrible, bro. Hey, let's get off of here tonight, man. We over here, man. We'll be back with you guys. We'll definitely get on Twitter. Follow us at the Field Level 1. Follow us on Instagram at the Field Level. But it's gonna be a lot of great stuff happening. We're gonna let some stuff kind of take shape. And then we'll come back and we'll definitely someone wearing X like Goldberg in the longest yard. That was a good one. But yeah, we're gonna let some stuff take shape, and we'll be back to discuss a lot of these things, man. I'm Pat. That's CT. That's Quan. It's the Field Level, your favorite podcast of the West Coast. We over and out.
Every week, catch your freshest on your TV. Field level football, Quan, Pat, and CT. On the field, running plays for the 3P. And we shine lights, camera action when you see the team. Pick 6, touchdown when I got the ball. And if you think you in my league, tell them knock it off. Money calling every day, and I just got the call. Reduction over projection, it's in us, we just got a ball. We just got a ball. We just got a ball.